touch the skies. Cheltenham town and Forest Green, Gloucester city stands so keen. Talk of the county, loud and clear.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Talk of the County Podcast. I am your host Daniel Hopkins, brought to you by Traffic Safety Management, local depot in Gloucester, but supports projects all around the UK. TSM keeps the roads moving safely day and night, offering local operatives a great career prospects in a socially driven company, and generally looks after its people and the communities they serve. To find out more, visit www.tsmltd.co.uk. We've got a special here today. It's all about Gloucester City. We're going
and he
into...
is very special.
Yeah, he is very special, as Dave says. It's playoff week, so we've got playoff fever in Gloucester. And we've got Cilin Taylor, Gloucester City Chairman. Welcome, Cilin.
Hi, everybody.
And we've got Dave/Jones/Angel.
Just call me Dave.
Too many names, Dave. Too many names.
He has got too many names, too many X-accounts as well.
Some that can't be broadcast, right?
Usually on some specific channel he keeps mentioning on the pod.
Grinding.
But welcome, Cilin. I should imagine this next week is going to be really busy for you and the club.
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? I mean, we're finally there. We've finally got a secure playoff spot and a difficult game at home to Poole now. So it's going to be a big crowd. I think we've already sold something like 1,200, 1,300 tickets already, which is amazing. So it's going to be a big crowd. It's going to be a nice evening. Let's get ourselves down now.
Yeah. And I'm going to be there, Cilin. I'm going to come down to have a look at what it's all about.
I had a little look on the app and I typed in Hopkins and 3 tickets popped up.
Never.
I'm bringing my wife and my youngest daughter. Yeah, we're going to come along and see what it's all about. I'm just a massive football fan, so I want to get involved. And I said to Dave, on the last pod that, with what you guys have been through as a football club, I'm as diehard Cheltenham fan as they come.
Yeah.
But I generally hope Gloucester get back to the level I think they should be at the minimum, because we have our banter and all that. But as we said, there's people like Dave and like yourself, the hours you put in behind the scenes. Your football club's your football club, and so before we talk about the playoffs, the exciting bit, I just wanted to talk about the summer. So you bring in Daf Williams, and he's a very good coach manager. Do you think this was what was the thinking behind the appointment when you brought him in?
Well, I've known Daf since his time at the club with Mance, so we had a good relationship, and I thought the club, I got on so well with the other coaches, Macca and Breffy and Cookie, and I just thought it was time for a little bit of a refresh. Some young up and coming coach. I watched what he did at Newport, and he ended up getting the first team job at the end, didn't he, for the last few games, I think.
Yeah, interim.
And he seemed, well respected, and just had a conversation pretty much after the game at Tottenham, I think it was, probably day after. And it was, I loved what he presented to me. I actually loved the guy. I think he's an amazing coach, great person. Could be a little bit angry, which I don't mind. Dave's probably seen it as well. But I like that. He's got passion. The amount of hours he puts into the club, is unbelievable. And I just feel he's the right person moving forward for us at this moment in time.
Yeah, as you know, we had him on the pod a few weeks ago, and he's very professional. He's level-headed, and I say all the time that obviously when I get home from football on a Saturday, I spend my evenings. I've got a very forgiving wife. I spend all my evenings going through all the Gloucester City games, the Forest Green games, and I do enjoy listening to Daf. He's very level-headed, knows what he's talking
honest
about
as well, isn't he? There's no rubbish, no sort of, just he says it as it is.
Yeah, and the players respect him. The players respect him. And I think once you got those players, I know it's an old adage of running through walls for you. I think some things to them will look after themselves, won't they?
But he does come across that sort of manager that he will get the players on board, because I think the players will know where they stand with him, won't they?
Yeah, 100%. And then, like I said, the other coach I speak to, Josh, and Kev quite a lot, and in his preparation for not just games but for the training, that's second to none. the analytics part of it with Sam and all those sort of things. It's just unbelievable. He's got a real future in the game.
Yeah. So saying about a future in the game, would you say this is a coup for Gloucester, or would you say that this is the kind of managers Gloucester attract? Because you've had King, you've had Tim Powers, they're big names in football. I see Dave's face there. They're big names in football. So it's not a surprise that you're bringing Daf in, is it?
No, not really. And it was an easy conversation, to be honest. It was, it was right for both of us. And I think that's what you have to, because at the end of the day, Gloucester City is a business. We've got to put the right person at the top. And it just felt from the first conversation I had with Daf, it was the right person. So Gloucester City, everybody says it again, another old adage, Dave, we're a sleeping giant. Just feel we need just a little bit of luck now and then, little thing, remember the green to go our way. And I think we're just going to fly, which we are flying. I mean, attendances have gone up by about 60% since I've been here. I think, so, I mean, yesterday...
The days of Evesham in front of 180 people against Vauxhall Motors is long behind. And now we're in a situation where people are moaning and stressing because it's only just over 1,000. It just speaks volumes of how far we've come, doesn't it?
100%. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, was it just over 1,400 yesterday? And, and it was brilliant to see. I love seeing all the kids there, the young families, and then you've got the older people, and then you've got the T-enders, and it's just a great mix of all fans, really. I absolutely love it.
But that's the important thing, isn't it? You say about you got the older generation and you got the younger generation, and the important thing. And I'm jumping forward a bit here. But obviously, when Gloucester moved out of the city because of the floods, you lost a generation of fans, didn't you? So to see these young kids there now, it must be pleasing.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a shame, but I think we've learned from it. I mean, was it 13 years, Dave? 14 years?
13 years, yeah.
It's a long time to have fans travelling to all those different places, and Cheltenham and Evesham and all those. So now we've got a home. The kids. We've got little ones, and I mean little 4 or 5 year olds running around with their City shirts on. It's so lovely to see, and it's like we say, those 15, 16, 17-year-old fans, are coming through now and going to, it's just proven in their attendances, really.
Yeah, and so 20 years ago, the club was obviously forced out of Meadow Park. Ground sharing, as you said, the likes of Evesham, Cirencester, Forest Green, and the mighty Cheltenham.
Yeah.
You returned home in 2020.
Yeah.
The relief for you and the club must have been massive.
Yeah, huge. It's a great stadium. I love the look of it. It's aesthetically quite pleasing, and it's just great to be back home. It really is. It's just I can't be any happier for the fans and the team, and you can just see it on everyone's face. We're not far out of town, are we? So it's accessible for everybody. There's things we want to do at the ground, obviously, but that will take its time. I keep hearing about a new T end. That's our thing at the moment, Dave, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
We got to save some pennies.
Would be, yeah, we do. Yeah, we got Sports Trust. We got a fund going. Got 1,500 quid in it at the moment, so I don't think we're going to get much of a TN for that.
Not at the moment.
But you've had
1,500 lucky dips or something on the lottery.
Yeah.
But you've had a good season in terms of like cup runs and especially the FA Trophy and all that. But if you keep getting seasons like that, and maybe you get a good one. The FA Cup money now is huge. If you get a good FA Cup run, that could potentially pay for something like that, couldn't it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it'd be amazing. I mean, the trophy run this year was just outstanding. I mean, that was probably one of my favourite games when we went to Slough. Won on penalties. It was. They had a great setup. They were brilliant bunch of guys there as well, and we held our own against the team in a league above, and it was just brilliant.
Yeah. And we said about you returning back home in 2020. How hard was it in that period away? Being exiled from the city. How hard was it for the club? There must have been some times, Colin, that the club must have been close to going under.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, it was a tough time, and I don't really want to talk about that because we're back home. Really, it's just the fact that we've managed to stay together as a club and strong, and and that's the most important thing is we've stayed together, and all the fans have stayed together, and the club's just moving forward, isn't it?
That's what I mean. It was more like the appreciation really of like the hard work which has gone on behind the scenes to keep the club.
Yeah.
Like you've had to move all around the county, but
Yeah.
you've shown a resilience as a club, haven't you? You've stayed strong. You've
Yeah.
got back to where you need to be, and that is within the city.
Oh yeah, I've got so much respect for all the people that stuck by the city in all those times, all the chairmans and owners and all the hard work that went to keep the club going. Really, it's we're in debt to those people that kept the club alive. Really.
Yeah, because we've spoken a lot on our pods
Yeah.
about football in general now, and you mentioned earlier about you know from the outside Gloucester City, and I know from some very respected people. They say the same. Gloucester City are a sleeping giant. If you can progress and maybe get up to the National League North again and go again.
Yeah.
I wish we could hurry up and wake up.
Go and give him a tickle, Dave.
We've been asleep for 30 years, haven't we?
But if there's a lot of money in football now, isn't there? We was talking just now on our last pod, like Farnham and Walton Hersham. We believe our clubs are probably being well backed, and it makes it hard for clubs like Gloucester City, Poole, Havant and Waterlooville, Weymouth. Dorchester have just gone down. The
massive.
clubs who have been at that level, that next level, are struggling to compete now with these clubs who are being financially bankrolled. So how important is it for City that going forward that they just keep this bubble going, keep the fan base coming in and progressing?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, we're lucky to have a really strong board. Rich, Sarah, Chris, Paul, it's such a strong board of people that work hard on sponsorships. And, Sarah's just got us 30 odd grand of funding for, what they call it, the things on the roof, solar panels.
Yeah.
So that's just been like they're coming out to measure it. So that's amazing, for us. We've got Matt and Jim doing the commercial part of it, and we're helped by the likes of Dave and the guys who run the shop. It's a real entity now, isn't it? We're all together. The T-enders chip in. Everybody just helps. And I just can't. I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. It's just be impossible because it's like I said, I've got a full-time job, and this is my other full-time job is running a football club. And I've learned pretty quickly you can't please everybody, but I try. The club's just in a good place at the moment.
Well, that's it. So, some football fans, you get it all the time. You get sensible fans, and I don't know whether I want to check Dave into that. You get sensible football fans, you get fickle football fans, and you get football fans who, no matter what you do, is not right. But it is right. You will have ambitions. Your ambitions will be to get Gloucester as high as you can, but it does come down to finances, doesn't it? And it takes time.
It does. And, I think I've been chairman now for 2.5 years, and I've worked hard to bring the finances in, some of it through myself and, sponsorship and all of those sort of things. And it's been hard work, but we're starting to see a good, sort of see the light through the tunnel, if that makes sense. We've worked hard at it, and we're only moving forward. Like I just said, it's exciting. Yeah,
because you mentioned about the light at the end of the tunnel, like City getting back home in 2020, and then you get COVID. So you would have had some testing times, because I know for even with the League Two level with Cheltenham, the talks about the astronomical amounts of money they was losing.
Yeah,
how hard was that for City in those times?
Really, really hard. And again, you got to give respect to the previous chairmen and owners who kept the club going through those dark times. Really, so. I've come out the other side of it, and 2.5 years ago, and I can actually
see
see
hair then, didn't you, Tom?
Moving forward. Sorry, Dave.
You got a full head of hair 2.5 years ago.
I just noticed my beard's getting greyer by the week. Honestly,
I think you're still a fair few brown hairs ahead of me, mate.
The Gloucester City effect is greyness. I'll tell you.
I think it is the grey effect. That could be a third kit next season, a grey kit.
I think so.
Let's go back then to your time in the National League before, because in 2021, obviously it was around the time of COVID. You were 5 points clear at the top of the National League. You were 13 points within the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do you feel as a club that you were robbed that season? Do you think you could have gone up automatically?
Yeah, we'd have loved it, Dave, if we would have got promoted.
We were, but looking back though, James Rowe had left, hadn't he? He'd taken taken five of our players,
Yeah.
including sort of Kwasi Asante, etc. I
Yeah.
think it would have been a tough ask to stay top. I think we'd have probably hung into the playoffs, but maybe it would have been a bit early for us, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think with
Yeah.
the situation we found the next season, there was a lot of things to do, wasn't there? So if we'd have been trying to sort those things out whilst having the increased expenditure of being at the level above, I think it would have been you'd have been totally grey bearded, I think.
Yeah, 100%. But it's like I said. I think somebody asked me last year, like how if we got promoted, if we won the playoff against Tottenham, are we prepared? And I just say it's a bit like having a baby. You're never prepared, are you?
Never ready, are you? No.
You just you got to roll with it. You make plans and you think this and that, and it's we would love to get promoted, but we've got the tough game on Wednesday. And it'd be amazing, but I'm trying not to think about anything about Wednesday at the moment.
but you had that season. I think the season after you had a bit of a drop off and you finished about 17th.
Yeah.
But the season after you got into the playoffs on goal difference, finished 7th, and obviously, unfortunately, you lost 2-2, drew 2-2 at Brackley and lost on penalties. So it does show that. City when they're at National League level, they can compete. But do you think that if you go up this time, that you're probably more prepared to kick on next time?
100%. If we get promoted, I think we're definitely hold our own 1,000,000%. We've proved that against sides this year that the league above. And we've got the player quality. We've got some absolute, Michael O'Regan and players like that. We've got to keep those likes of those players and KT and all those important players that can hold their own in that league. And I think we'd do really well, Dave, if we got promoted, don't you?
Yeah. I think we're in a much steadier position, aren't we? And
with
Daf at the helm, I'd be confident we could challenge.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Merthyr dropped off at the end, didn't they? But they did it this season. They got off to a flyer. Tamworth the season before. You often find promoted teams are a bit of a crest and carry it forward. And it'd be nice to think we could do that too.
Because I think Merthyr popped out of the playoffs yesterday.
Just dropped
he was there all season. He was in the playoffs. And
such a shame. That's such a good club.
They missed Ricardo's goals, didn't they?
Yeah. I think as soon as he went to FGI, it was that guy was different gravy, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
He didn't do anything in the game, and just pop up and score.
Do you know what I find that, because obviously, like I said, I got to analyze a lot of their games, and I find that he the old saying, he goes missing in games, but that's probably the wrong thing to say, because you're right, he does find a goal, even when he hasn't played well.
Yeah, unbelievable goal scoring record, and he's a big old boy as well, and he can look after himself, and he's proven that at Forest Green, hasn't
he? He has, yeah. And if you take you got yourself Kane Simpson, who's got 27 goals this season. I know Kane's more towards the latter stage of his career, but it just goes to show for a team. The old saying in football is a striker will win your games, a defender will win your leagues.
Yeah.
And you've obviously got Kane Simpson, who's banged in 27 goals, but you've also had Jamal Mohammed. And Dave was mentioning today that he's out for the rest of the season. That's got to be a big disappointment.
Yeah, massive. I mean, Kane, I just want to say what a lovely guy he is as well. He doesn't just score goals, but he's a real all-round professional. He's a great guy around the changing rooms. Jamal's going to be a massive miss for us. But then I'd imagine Leds would probably pop in there. And he's got a wealth of experience, hasn't he?
Michael O'Regan's been superb as well, hasn't he? So,
honestly, Michael is just a Rolls Royce of a player. I don't want anybody else tapping him up, so I don't want to give him too much.
He's rubbish. He's
all right.
Can't see how he's getting in the team.
No. But yeah, I mean, Jamal's going to be a massive miss for us. For a young lad, he had an old head on his shoulders. He was an unbelievable player. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And obviously, like I said, we had Daf on a few weeks ago, and I did push him, and like I said, Daf's very hard to get an answer out of, because he won't look further than the next game. But I did speak to him about Gloucester and all that. He's very ambitious, and he wants to manage at the highest level. And I said to him, in the short to medium term, I said, where do you think Gloucester could get to? And he was like, obviously promotion is the next aim. He said, but I can't see why we shouldn't be aiming for the National League. Do you think
Yeah.
that's a realistic ambition?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why shouldn't we aim as high as we can possibly go? I think, like I said, with Daf at the helm, anything's possible, really. And like I said, with the good board we've got, it's the fan base, everything's set for us to do well, isn't it?
It is, and again, we spoke about Gloucester being a sleeping giant, and you look at some of the clubs across the pyramid who are higher at the pyramid in Gloucester, like National League, Wealdstone. No disrespect to clubs like Wealdstone or anything like that, but in terms of football wise, Gloucester City are a bigger club than Wealdstone, and so there's no reason that you shouldn't be getting into the National League.
100%. Like I just said earlier on, a bit of a rub of the green, a bit of luck here and there. You never know where it can take you, isn't it?
Well,
We've had so much bad luck over the years, haven't we? To like even little stupid things like drawing a league club in a trophy, and then well, not league club, but Luton, who are a massive club, and then an EDL marks, meaning it was moved to the Friday from Saturday, and then games being called off at Wadden Road because they didn't turn the pumps on, and I just can't help thinking sooner or later our luck's going to change, and when it does, Christ, we're going to get 8 penalties a week for 3 years.
We couldn't be too accommodating, Dave.
No, 100%.
But and again on the attendances, you said the average of season is just over 1,200. I think, to correct me if it's wrong, your highest was Yate Town, which was 1,900.
Friday night.
But it goes to for Southern League, that's outstanding. There's a club down the road.
Yeah, I know.
Who their average is about 1,900. So for Gloucester to be getting that in the Southern League, it just goes to show that the potential, isn't it, Colin? If you can get to that next level and sustain it, that the city will get involved in what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. And we've got a massive, obviously, rugby club here, isn't we? So they have about 12 to 15,000 fans, and we can still hit over 1,000 when they're playing at home. Is unbelievable for us. Like I said, I'm so indebted to the fans who keep coming week in, week out. And that 1,900 we had for Yate was probably the worst weather we've ever seen. It was horrendous, windy, terrible game. But I don't, in a Friday night, I don't know what draws people in. It's just amazing. We put a live band on and the bar's busy and everybody's just loves it. So hopefully we can carry on doing those next year if we can.
That's going to be one of my questions is what you say about the rugby. And because obviously when Cheltenham play in the racings are on, so luckily for us, Cheltenham are always at home on Boxing Day because of the racing on New Year's Day, which is great for me. But for City, like with the rugby, is it something that City couldn't look at and go, and work with the league and go, could we have more Friday night games rather than Saturdays if the rugby's at home on a Saturday, so you can potentially draw in that bigger crowd?
Yeah, I mean, I think having a Friday night game is all depends on the opposition if they're happy to have a Friday night game. So when Plymouth are not going to come down to us, are they? We do a Friday night game, but Yate thankfully said yes, and next year if we do go up, we could have a Hereford or a imagine that on a Friday night.
Please would love that.
That's the thing. They're the big revenue generators for the club, aren't they? Hereford is sell out. City would get. The fans would be. Dave's been opening. They come down for the last few weeks, haven't you, Dave? But so now, obviously, for you to get up to the next level. But you see a few clubs do it where Tranmere used to do it a lot. They used to play on a Friday night a lot because of obviously Liverpool and Everton.
Yeah, that's right.
So like I said, it's just an idea. Do you feel that the rugby does impact your attendances if you're at home at the same time?
I think it does. I think it's just natural, isn't it? It will do because. Everybody will say Gloucester's a rugby town, but we're doing our damnedest to make sure it's not just a rugby town. With our brilliant media team, we're getting as much, as we can out there, much social coverage we can, and these TikToks, which I don't understand.
People say it's a rugby town, don't they? But
yeah, they do.
There's more football fans in Gloucester than there are rugby fans, but it's just the fact they all support Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea. Yeah. You just need them to get behind their home city. The amount of X profiles you read, and their bio at the top says like loves football, rugby, supports Liverpool and Gloucester, and they're from Gloucester, and you're just like, but
I know.
But it's a catch-22, isn't it? And we've got to give them something to attract them. And
Yeah, which we
I'm
are.
convinced that with a promotion and a successful side, that people will start getting on board and supporting their own city.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It's like I said, it's nice to see. Yesterday, we pretty much knew Farnham were going to go to Tiverton and pick up the 3 points, but to have just over 1,400 people there was still great. It was lovely to walk into the ground and see the pubs, the red and yellow kits out there, and it's just great. It's a great feeling. You can feel the buzz, and you'll feel it on Wednesday night. It's just you can smell the buzz. You can feel it, can't you? It's the smell of football at Gloucester City, and it's exciting.
Well, that's it. You mentioned there about advertisement and stuff like that, but how can we asked the question? It's a problem across football. Even in the lower leagues of the football league, you still got the odd kids who go, I support Cheltenham, but I also support Man United.
Yeah.
How do, as a chairman, how do clubs get those kids involved early on when they're getting into football and going, Gloucester City are my team, and then they're not, they watch Premier League on telly, but Gloucester City is my team. I want to go to watch Gloucester every Saturday. What can you do as a club to get that grit?
Yeah, we work hard on that, through my job. I work with, young people. So I give away as many tickets as we can for kids to come in, because just come and watch it, because they're bringing their nan, the grand, the mum, the dad, the carers, whoever, uncle, aunts, and they go, actually, we quite enjoyed that. We quite enjoyed that football. We'll think we'll come back. And then, we work so hard to get those young people through those gates. You're having a great youth system as well with, Josh able to do the set up the youth system. We've got boys teams all the way from 18s all the way down to 10s, and the girls as well, with Jeff and Scott doing so well there, and Paul to do that. And we've got, I don't even know how many girls teams. We've got 14 girls teams, and we get the mascots in, which is amazing. We're full up, as soon as the season comes, full up. We do 2 teams a week. They're excited. They go down and see the players, and Daf and Sheppy are so accommodating, aren't they, Dave? To show them around.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's a tough job, that is. I stood in one week when people were away, and it's credit to the people who do it every week.
Yeah, Adam and Isaac and Liam do the stuff on the pitch at half time. Like I said earlier on, without the volunteers, this club just wouldn't run.
That's the thing. Like, so the halftime entertainment. What sort of halftime entertainment does Gloucester do? Because that is big for kids, isn't it? Because as an adult, we're going there and we're literally just focused on the game, and where kids like they like the experience. But when you got 15 minutes at halftime, it could be a bit boring for them. So what do Gloucester do at halftime?
Well, we just Adam and Isaac, they do a like penalty shootout sort of thing, don't they? So we have a penalty shootout. Obviously Rory used to go and go, but we haven't got Rory at the moment. So
he's there on Wednesday.
He's there on Wednesday. Unbelievable. So Rory usually goes and go, and then we've got a separate bit where the kids take shots and into the holes. Great. It's great. It's really good for the kids. And as Dave well knows, as soon as that final whistle goes, it's like an army of little ants run on that pitch, and it's impossible to stop them.
Yeah, I suppose the groundsman doesn't mind so much because it's artificial. But if it was a proper grass pitch, it'd be a bit more.
I know. I know. It's like we tried to stop him, but it's just impossible, Dave, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It is.
Yeah, brilliant. So let's go on to the playoffs. I think you've kind of answered this, but how big are the playoffs for City? And what was the remit for Daf in the summer? Was it to build, or was it we've got to get promotion?
I think we were both in agreement, build on what we did last year, and he's done that. He's got a really competitive squad of players. Not just that, but the whole setup from bottom to top is changed. Not saying that Cookie didn't have that setup, because managers and different coaches do their things in their own way, don't they? So, it's just Daf is really professional, really spot on in everything he does, and hopefully we're prepared for Wednesday night in the right way.
Yeah, and obviously, you don't want to think about this, because obviously all your thoughts is we're getting promoted. But would there be any impact for Gloucester going next season, i.e. budget wise, or would you still be there and ready to go again?
Yeah, we've already had this conversation. We're there and ready to go. Whatever happens, we don't want to talk about,
Not
losing on Wednesday. Obviously don't, but you've got to be prepared and ready for the next chapter, I suppose.
Yeah, because me and Dave, obviously we've been talking about like the Southern League next season, and obviously even though I'm a Cheltenham fan, I look at all levels of football, and I don't think I've ever seen the Southern League as strong as it's potentially going to be next season. I know you can take Hereford out of that now,
Yeah,
but
I know. Yeah,
Taunton, Taunton will probably be better under Gary Johnson next
yeah,
season.
they will. Yeah,
Weymouth have gone down, obviously, having Chippenham, Poole, some.
Bath.
Bath.
Yeah.
There's some big clubs there, and so does it make it a little bit more important to go? We need to go up.
Of course it does. It's so difficult, isn't it? I just honestly, it's like I said, I'm trying not to think about Wednesday, because I don't. It's so because I was absolutely gutted last year when we lost to Tottenham.
Yeah.
I didn't even answer. I woke up in the morning with about 70 texts, and I was just like, oh God.
One thing I would say though is that next season, although it looks really strong, what it is lacking is a Tottenham or a Farnham or one of these heavy financially
loaders.
backed clubs that's shooting up the leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, Frome are coming up. We've dealt with them before, haven't we?
Yeah.
So I think, it's more of a level playing field financially.
I think, well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? You'd hope so.
Yeah, because again, I know Bath has spent a lot of time in the conference saves then.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are right. You mentioned those names, but they are no bigger than Gloucester City, are they? They're a big club, and that's what we say. Gloucester City are a big club. But it just makes it that tougher because they said it's probably even not harder when it's a level playing ground because everybody's on the same sort of level. Where when you get the money back team, like I know Dave said that they've said online that Wharton finished top.
Yeah.
But they think that they've got a mid-table budget. But I think it's obvious that them and Farnham have had some financial backing. So they finished first and second where you would expect them to. So next season you could finish first. You could finish fifth. Because it's so level, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we had it last year with Tottenham as well, didn't we? It was just, when you're signing players like Charlie Austin and, and they're striking Lee, decent players, aren't they? Get that level. And it was tough. It was tough for us last year, but I thought we equipped ourselves really well. And I think we're even more prepared for this year, for the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to me, Colin. What? Even though you're trying not to think too much about the playoffs this week, what does your week look like this week?
Very, very agitated at home. My wife's already prepared, so we're prepared. Wednesday, I don't know. I'm lucky enough. I'm quite busy at work in the day Wednesday, but it's going to be four systems go pretty much from Monday onwards. It's like push the tickets. Make sure my wonderful volunteers are all ready. I'm down there tomorrow, sort of lunchtime, just to look at the bar and how we're running the bar and the food outlets and where the toilets are going to go and all the things. So we're prepared. It's a busy week and it's an exciting week. But like I said, we've got plenty of people helping out and helping me and pushing me in the right direction. And Jenny and Claire, not just pushing me, ordering me around like you wouldn't believe. But again, it's like I said, the board, we'll all be in it together and hope for an exciting game on Wednesday.
And obviously, I'll say when you win on Wednesday, obviously all eyes will be on Berkhamsted, and hopefully they beat Farnham, so you get that home final.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be dreaming. I'm going to be dreaming about all the permutations of it all day, won't we? It's just, he keeps texting me things.
I just got visions of waking up on Thursday morning with like 72 hours to arrange 5 coaches. I won't be getting much sleep for a few days.
I know, and I'd imagine Farnham, if they beat Berkhamsted, would give us a heavy away following, wouldn't they?
Yeah, you'd hope so.
I mean, we'll sell our tickets for fun. I mean, last week at Yate was amazing day, wasn't it? To watch 360 fans, and it had a lot of social media coverage as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of.
And what they come up with is just amazing. Honestly, I can't. The fans are just amazing. Honestly, I can't say anything.
Yeah, I don't.
They're just brilliant. They travel in numbers, to Plymouth and all those places, and they're just excellent. Absolutely love the guys to bits.
I see BBC Gloucester Radio are commentating on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Were they going too much? Do you feel that sometimes City don't get a fair share of the coverage? And the reason I say this is more on an outside view. That obviously I travel home and away with Cheltenham, so obviously when I come out of an away game, it doesn't matter. You could be at Rochdale, say they would be covering their lower league teams.
Yeah.
Where do you feel you get enough of that from BBC Gloss?
No, not really. Not really. I think they came to the Chippenham game this year, I think, the FA Cup game, and I'm pretty sure that was that. I'm not sure they've been since, but we'd welcome them with open arms. We'd love them to give us some more coverage. We are an up-and-coming team. We want as much coverage as you can possibly give us. And, it's like I said, we deserve it, Dave, to be honest, don't we? We deserve a little bit more,
we do,
a bit more coverage. I don't know why they don't, but hopefully they can after this one think, actually, I enjoy it. We can start covering us a little bit more.
Yeah.
So how does it work then, Colin? Is it something the club have got to engage with the BBC with, or do they come to you and go, we want to cover your game?
They just come to us, and say, is it okay if we can come to the game on Saturday? And and we treat them well, and so that they get well looked after. I hope. I don't know who's covering the game on Wednesday, but
I think Mark Halliwell's doing it.
Oh, really? That's
Wednesday,
great. Then. That's brilliant. They sent the big boy in.
He's a very good commentator, Mark. So as is Pete Matthews, but when Pete's not around, Mark's very, very good. But in terms of you have got your own radio station, proudly sponsored by Talk of the County. So that's really good. So there is other avenues to listen to if BBC are not involved.
Yeah, I mean we're plugging you like anything on other Tigers radio. I've
Presumably the games
will
be on
few games to help out and do a bit of commentary.
Presumably the games will be on Clubber as well, won't they?
Oh yeah,
being on a Monday.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
I might buy the Farnham game and have it down there on Wednesday night.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So just a couple of last questions, Colin. So. What's been your highlight of the season so far?
Oh, God, highlight is too many to mention. Like I said, the slide. I really enjoyed the slide away. I don't know why. I just enjoyed the whole day. As we particularly didn't play that well. That to win on penalties is always
mad rush to get down the other end for the penalties.
Yeah, there's only to watch all the fans go from one
and the warm welcome that awaited us.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Honestly, there's been so many. Just to see, the home games are always enjoyable, even though they're really busy. To see us packing out over 1,000 per game is brilliant. So yeah, I haven't really got one that sort of sticks in my mind. Really.
Let's hope it's yet to come, eh?
Yeah, it's yet to come. Yeah, I got a good answer.
Let's hope it's Wednesday.
And obviously, we're football fans again. Like I said, we all clubs have it. Sometimes chairman, the board, they get a lot of stick. But what is the biggest challenge for a chairman?
There's lots of different challenges. I think, it starts from top to bottom. Getting the fans in, and then dealing with the manager and the players, and then having an injury and having to get a loan in, and
no, you can't have more money.
Yeah, more money. What can you do? Can you get me a loan in pretty cheap? So.
Sorry, I was going to say that's a good point by Dave. Like, when you got a good manager like Daffy, he's got great contacts and all that. And we know good managers will always push the board as far as they can for extra.
Oh, yeah.
And that must be the hardest point when you've got to say no, when if you could say yes, they potentially go and get you something and make a difference.
Yeah, I know. The loss of Harry Pinch was, a bit of a kick for us. But we've replaced him with Wadesy now, and he's a really good player, and he's getting better game by game, getting fitter.
Definitely.
What a really good player.
I think he could be massive in the playoffs. I think he's going to be a key player.
He does this pivot. I was saying to Daf, he does it all the time. You think that players would get it and think he's going to pivot and go the other way, but he just does it. He's just,
Webby used to do that Cruyff
yeah,
turn all the time, didn't
yeah.
he? He used to do it like 20 times a game, and they never pinched it off him.
I
So.
know he's so good, but yeah, it is tough sometimes. I mean, we had a really hard injuries in January, wasn't it? December, January, when the results weren't going our way. We were picking up injuries for fun, and we lost Ed, and we lost lots of different players, and it was just
suspensions as well hit us as well, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was same
time.
and we had 3 in one game, didn't we, against Taunton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 11 red cards this season. City have had, even though some have been overturned. But
yeah, I mean that in itself is a crazy stat, isn't it? 11 red cards.
Well, we started having a competition.
Like next nothing, weren't they? So many of them.
We started having a competition because Chris would always dig at Forest Green for the lack of clean sheets they'd keep. And then so I said, well, I'll tell you what, Dave, you and Gloucester and Forest Green could have to see who keeps the clean sheets and who gets the most red cards. And I think it was level edged up until Saturday.
I mean, I've been to every game bar one, I think, this year, well, the last 3 years. And that Taunton game away was just crazy. It was probably the craziest game I've seen for a long time.
Yeah, some of them I've seen is like, yeah, it just begs to differ how a referee comes to those decisions. But
I know, and the trouble is you can't say anything because you get yourself in more trouble.
That's it. Like, that's because you said yourself, Dave, didn't you? You said that, you know, from the outside, it looks like our disciplinary record is diabolical, but when you see the red cards, that
going back in my head, going back through all of them, the only one to me that was like, oh yeah, as a red card was Morg's challenge,
Marina,
straight red.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it's just all 2 yellows and bloody Jake Price going down like somebody's hit him in the face with a mallet when he's had his arm brushed, and it's just been weird. Ellis Watts being sent off for his arm touching the referee's arm. So it's just ridiculous things that you just can't really legislate for, I don't think. I don't think there's any problem with discipline. But hopefully we've had our fill of red cards and we don't see any more in the next, hopefully, 2 games.
Yeah, touch wood.
Yeah.
And it's like I say, I go to away games. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm one of the biggest fans. You know, I love watching City play, and I love listening to the chants, and you know, it's so good. It's you know, I'm a fan.
Especially the ones about you, eh?
Yeah, yeah, we've had a few.
but that makes it good. That's, you know, it's good to hear, because, you know, when you've got a chairman who's a fan, it gets the fans on board more, doesn't it? Because they know you care about the club as much as they do. Sometimes when you get an outsider come in and things are not going so well, it's easy for the fans to turn on the board, isn't it?
100%. And I always welcome people to come and chat to me if they've got a bit of an issue or things they've got. Come and chat to me. We can talk about it. I'm not going to hide. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. I mean, when we got relegated, I was always the first to, you know, say, come on, come and have a chat. Let's just talk about it. And like I said, well, things are only going to get better. I think there's a song about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah. We won't get Dave singing.
No.
You don't. Nobody needs that on a Sunday morning.
And how important is it for people? I'm gonna make him blush now. For people like Dave, like you said, you know, they put a lot of work in behind the scenes as well, don't they? Helping the club, you know, Dave with the travel club and what have you. But you know, how important are those people for any club?
You know, I say it all the time, massive, you know, like Dave and Dave Miller and John
Dave Miller, he does
Jenny. I could name 100 people.
Too many to name.
And it's just, you know, Robin and all those, you know, even Dave Erridge, you know, the Tienders and Isaac and Adam. Just name, I could just keep going, naming names. But we just wouldn't run without these guys. And that is me being hand on heart. You know, you know, people say, oh, this and that, but it is about the volunteers, Jenny, Claire, the hours they put in is unbelievable. Nobody gets paid. Do you know? It's a volunteer basis, and I just can't speak highly of them, of all of them, really.
Brilliant. And finally, obviously with Wednesday coming up, what message have you got for the fans, and how big a part can they play in over the next couple of week rather?
Massive. Just come down. Come down. Taste the atmosphere. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere down there on Wednesday. I've looked at the weather as well. It's going to be a nice evening. No rain. You know, the floodlights will be on. All the pubs around Gloucester will be packed with City fans. Come and enjoy it. And let's hope we can get the win.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Cilin, thanks for taking time out coming on.
Yeah.
I genuinely mean this. wish you all the best. I'll be there Wednesday, so I'll say hello if I see you.
Yeah, come and see you.
And we'll hopefully get you on again after you've maybe got promotion.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Brilliant. Again, thanks for that, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Good. And thank you everybody for listening. Don't forget you can follow us on X, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as listening on Spotify. See you next time.